Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be breaking down Josh Allen's beautiful throw from the AFC Divisional Playoff game, and we'll start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so this was just an absolute stunning throw, beautiful. Just a work of art from a football perspective. I mean, this is what beauty is. This is what art is. So for anybody that is into quarterback mechanics or even football in general knows exactly what I'm talking about here. So at the end of the day, like this had to throw. I mean, the ball came out of his hands at about the 17-yard line there. So that the ball went, at least 56, 57 yards in the air, and it was on a line. Like the ball did not go that high into the air. It was really as much of like a bullet as you could possibly have. So we got to go deeper into how did Josh Allen do this, right? Like what were the mechanics here? Because the fundamentals, I think, are what is the name of the game here. Josh Allen's a big dude. He's strong. He has really a ton of great levers, but we want to look at what are the how-tos, right? And some of the fundamentals that we talk about is he loads the back hip, right? So he really sinks into that back leg. He kind of does step over to the side a good amount. I try to get away from coaching that too much. I don't like to see you go too far off to the side here. But you could also see he really lets that front arm go away from him, go out in front of him there, which is something that I think could really help you in being able to drive that front shoulder all the way through and all the way back. And I think it also helps in being able to create good disassociation, because when you bring your hand kind of in front and away from you like that, and you step off to the side, it really allows two different directions, right? So you can see the hips going this way, the arms going this way. So that's going to create a level of differentiation between the lower and upper body, which is what you want. You want to create disassociation. You want to make it so you are, creating rotation, the opportunity for rotation, loading up to be able to really generate a lot of force within the throw. Quarterback University is where committed quarterbacks come to take their game to the next level. Improve your throwing power, velocity, accuracy, and get the ball out of your hands faster. Not only are there videos to improve your mechanics, but there's also workout tutorials and also drills to help you improve as well. We want to help you get noticed, which is why we also included a recruiting services section. We'll have quizzes that you'll be able to take to be able to make sure that you actually get the information and are able to repeat it back. In case you have any shoulder, back, wrist, or elbow soreness, there is a section to address that as well. Click the link here in order to get started. Thanks for watching. So he loads the back leg, he loads through the core. He also really loads the hand and the wrist, right? One of the things that I've been talking about is you want to get the nose of the football facing more back there. So you don't want it to be facing too much here. You really want it to be facing more this way as you're loading, because that really helps you in being able to maintain a good wrist position. Because there's a lot of people saying that it looks like he's throwing kind of sidearm here, and at the end of the day, when he comes through like at this position, that's just pure external rotation, right? Like as he's coming through here, he's getting the nose right on top of the football. As he releases it right there, maybe it looks like the forearm is a little bit outside of the elbow, which would make it so there is a degree of a sidearm release there, but it's not a ton of side. Like right here, there's no sidearm. Here, there's a tiny bit of sidearm. So it's not like he's totally throwing it off to the side. Like when you look at this one, you can see that it doesn't look like he's throwing it off to the side at all. It looks like he's getting right up on top of the ball. And I think he's more getting himself in a position, because when you're throwing sidearm, you're getting more of like your hand underneath the ball. If I had a football here, it'd be here. But when you're not throwing sidearm, you're getting more of that straight up and down with the wrist. And so I think he's more straight up and down with the wrist, which makes it not a sidearm throw. But it does make it so it's impressive nonetheless. He's able to really continue shifting his weight all the way through the throw. And as he's releasing, let's see his release time real quick. We'll start it there, 44.67. To 0.67. So he's at about 0.4 overall in terms of how long it took the ball to get out of his hand. Not bad considering he's throwing a 60-yard dart, right? So you can see he's kind of like loading back, and then flings it. And again, that it has a big proponent with like that front arm. And we see that with Justin Herbert too, where he really uses that front arm to create that disassociation within the upper body and the lower body, which I think really, really helps you out. And at the end of the day, guys, like there's two main things that I think are critical to throwing performance. And one of those is going to be, utilizing the hips, right? You got to use the hips, got to use the lower body. The other thing is wrist flick. You got to be able to flick the wrist. And those really end up going into the two main things that I think are critical in being able to perform at a high level. When it comes to hip utilization, there's a ton that goes into that. How you're loading the back leg, how you're absorbing through the front leg, how you're shifting your weight forward, how you're pushing off of that back leg. That all goes into hip utilization. When it comes to wrist flick, it's a lot of the same thing. How are you loading through the arm and the wrist? How are you driving your elbow through? What position is your forearm in when the ball's coming out of your hand? What position is the wrist in as you're coming through the hand? What does the follow through look like? So all those are subcategories within those two main areas that have to be great in order to have a lot of success as a quarterback. So, we're really going deep into this as, I'm continuing to learn and see more quarterbacks throw, teach more quarterbacks how to throw, watch more of the best guys do it. I'm really trying to create more structure to make it so we could have consistent success within the throwing program. So, I think that right now is a better time than ever to be able to sign up for the throw program, because I'm really getting a great understanding of how to teach and understand, exactly what it is you need to do. I just had a guy reach out to me. I'll put the email here, that just talked about how one of his quarterbacks had the greatest improvements he's seen in the 23 years of him doing, high school coaching. And so we want to continue to get more results like that. We want to continue to help out more quarterbacks in that way. And, really putting a focus on the mechanics, right? And I think a lot of guys show up to camps and have individual sessions and throw it to routes and all that stuff. And I think that's really good. But there's no way that any of these guys are even close to having the understanding that I do of the mechanics and the drills that are going to help you to get there and how to make consistent success within that. And so if you could really just focus on that for 3 months, you're going to see tremendous results, and it'll make it so then you have a framework to be able to build off of as a quarterback moving forward. So for this week, we're going to be doing a $50 off thing for our throw program. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and click the link down below and get signed up for that. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe if you like the information, and if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, leave those down below. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.